the border wall. This is a pretty big W, isn't it? Nobody's really talking about it. I wonder why.
This is a huge win. The remnant money that was already allocated will be dispersed to build the rest of Trump's border wall, even though Trump's no longer president of the United States at the moment. I mean, he won't be for a few more months. So
hopefully, yeah. Well, do you think that how will the left spin this? Will they say it is now Biden's wall?
They probably will. Biden is securing the border.
I think they will try that. Like Cackling Camel will be like, this is the K-Hive. The K-Hive came together and we're securing our border.
We've like built 50 miles of wall in the last couple of months.
Yeah. I don't think that there is enough time for the left to get the stink of the border off Kamala Harris. I don't believe that there is. I believe that they're going to pivot. They're going to have to pivot off of it because they just can't do it. Everyone remembers that she was the border czar. Mainstream media called her the border czar. The stink of the border is on her. Everyone knows that hilarious clip where she's dancing to people singing or chanting, but they're actually like insulting her.
I remember that. That was so great.
Somebody like leaned over and they're calling you a bitch or something like that. And she's like, oh, and stops dancing.
No, don't, please don't dance right now. Trust me.
Yeah. Ooh, the blacks. Ooh. Yeah, the border wall.
She just thought that they were doing some sort of tribal dance in support of her, like some voodoo or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she's a bigot, and we all know it.
So Attorney General Andrew Bailey said, I've obtained a court order forcing border czar Kamala Harris, nice, well done, and Joe Biden to finish President Trump's border wall. They decided not to appeal, making our win final. This is a massive W. It is no different than them admitting it's a problem. Like they have admitted that this is a problem.
Well, imagine that they appeal and that's becomes big in the news. It's like you don't want to actually defend the border. They can't. They were forced into a corner on this one.
Yeah, they couldn't, because then they know that the border is probably the second biggest issue right now behind inflation. And they can't.
It might technically be the biggest issue in some people's minds.
Yeah. Oh, certainly. I would certainly suspect that's true in sanctuary cities. How many of these people are going to quietly vote for Trump?
If you're in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's getting overrun. New York is getting overrun. San Francisco is getting overrun. All these sanctuary cities that talk about being sanctuary cities are getting completely run over. And oh, by the way, inconvenient truth, it's not suburban whites. It's urban blacks and Latinos who are getting their programs canceled.
Yeah, where do all the liberals think that the refugee center goes? Does it go to the white suburbs or does it go to the ghetto?
Exactly.
Where do they build the building? I wonder where.
Yeah, and not only that, which building do they take over?
Yeah.
Which community center that your kids used to go to do they use? That's it. That's actually what they did in Chicago. They took over community centers and all this stuff that kids used.
But Jeremy, you've got to realize it doesn't exist if it's not in my community.
Well, I think that's hard to argue with. It probably is true.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. You're all don't believe that these are not the droids you're looking for. These are not the migrants you're looking for. But here's the thing. Neither one of us live in the urban areas of our perspective areas. So it's hard for us to have that perspective. But I wonder if we have any viewers out there.
By the way, are you rural or semi-rural? Here it's semi-rural.
Semi-rural. Yeah, I'm 10 minutes from. I don't know if this is a Wisconsin thing, but I judge on how rural I am is whether or not I can't get high-speed internet, but I can get to a Walmart in 10 minutes. So I'm not
okay, that's
out of civilization.
Yeah.
But
it's there is something going on. It's just thankfully there's not too much going on.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
mean,
the perfect balance.
I don't see a single neighbor in any direction. You know, and it's all farms around me, so I'm pretty rural, but I can still get to the city pretty quick.
Yeah.
Um, Here's the thing. I wonder if we have anybody in our audience who can comment or leave a comment later. You know, what is the I want to talk to people who are in the urban cities. Like these people, we see them in the streets saying like this is outrageous. These people are taking our welfare money because they are. These people are taking our our community centers. Like, are they going to go vote or are they just going to vote for Democrat again? Because there's only one person who's going to fix that inner city blacks and Latinos. That's Donald Trump. Like, that's the
Yeah.
only guy that's going to fix that. Kamala Harris is going to make it worse. So, you know, this border wall stuff, I think, is big. You see Elon Musk. By the way, Elon Musk is going like
He's
goblin
going crazy.
mode, like promoting anything pro-Trump or protecting immigration, all this kind of stuff. By the way, I don't know where Styx is on this. I suspect since politically we're pretty close, I'm not a close the borders guy. I'm can we stop the mass unfiltered swarms of millions coming over our border?
Yeah.
guy?
I have no problem with people that want to pay thousands of dollars and go through years and years and civics tests and stuff like that who want to immigrate legally. Unless they're a criminal or something, I have no problem with that. I mean, my wife is Dutch, so, you know, I'd be a little bit of a hypocrite otherwise.
And by the way, a lot of countries have policies just like this. And
Yeah.
nobody has a problem. Like, try to immigrate to Japan once.
Yeah.
Look how it was almost impossible for PewDiePie, who's a world-renowned celebrity worth hundreds of millions of dollars with a clean criminal record. It took him like 3 years. And like, I'm fine with that. Like,
yeah, he needed to know more than Konnichiwa, you know.
he did. Yeah, he speaks Japanese. And oh, by the way, go to Japan and tell me about the crime. You could leave your like backpack and laptop on a park bench overnight and it'll still be there the next day. Like, don't tell me that stuff's not related. Don't tell me that the leader of Poland, when the reporter says, you don't have any immigrants here, and he goes, oh yeah, we also don't have any terror attacks. Like, don't tell me that some, kid of Rwandan migrants who just went around ventilating kids at a Taylor Swift dance event in the UK. Don't tell me that would have happened if you had strict rules about immigration. I just don't believe that is, as their governor says, part and parcel for living in the big city.
Yeah.
You know why I know that? It's because it doesn't happen
yeah.
where I live.
I have no problem with people immigrating to the United States, but there is a process by which you're supposed to do that. And only people that go through that process should be allowed to immigrate to the United States. And there should, by the way, unless it's for marital purposes, there should be a quota for student visas, work visas, etc.
Yes, I agree. You have to protect your citizens, by the way. Like, that's one thing Trump did.
Yeah.
I'm sure other politicians did that too. Like, day one, it's like, oh, China, suck on these tariffs.
Yeah.
Like,
no immigrants from China. No Chi-coms.
No Chi-coms. We're going to put huge tariffs. He did that too. I forget if maybe you can remember or comments will remember. He told, I think, like Ford or GM wanted to move some factory to Mexico. And he's like,
that was Ford. Yeah.
And he's like, okay, cool. I'm going to put a $5,000 tariff on every car. Suck a butt. And they stayed. Like, you can't, that's how you do it. That's how a society succeeds and thrives. Also, you have to produce something. The United States used to produce something. Now we don't. We produce.
Well, we're still the number one of exporter of crops.
Crops we do.
A lot of food, a lot of wood, a lot of minerals, a lot of fertilizer, a lot of industrial goods. We still do produce a lot of stuff, but the thing is, we're squandering it.
How much money could the United States put in the bank if we were drilling? How much? Oh
my God.
How much debt could we offset if we made our own oil? Like, we would totally collapse the Middle East too.
Biden's student loan debt forgiveness would actually be able to be paid for if we were to do drill baby drill with the new technology we've got.
Yeah, and I would be fine with it because gas would be 50 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
hey, we're saving money, you know?
yeah.
And
like,
everything else, because it has to be shipped around, that would lower too. Man,
Right.
that would be great. If only we had people that were competent running the government, things could be so great. We've got everything that we need.
Yeah, it's just the idea that we don't have, I mean, that we in Alaska alone and or offshore, okay, the infinite amounts of oil, more oil than we could ever use.
Yeah.
Like Americans have been sold this lie that we just like, oh, we
The
just
peak
have a
oil
little
time?
bit of oil. Yeah, we just have a little bit of oil and we keep it just in case of emergencies. No, we have oil and we sell it to other countries.
It's more like we can power our entire country with oil and natural gas for the next 200 years very easily, and it wouldn't even be difficult.
Right.
And that's a bare minimum estimation.
Exactly. And if you make
electric cars, my ass.
Yeah, and all you have to do is make a smart decisions along the way so that it lasts longer. Like stop being puss bags about nuclear power. Stop, and start looking more into, solar's getting better. Can we make it even better? I'm not saying it's an answer to everything, but I'm saying it's free. Can we do more with hydrogen power? Can we do more with all these things that we could do? By the way, we could put a nuclear power plant in every state and never, I mean, obviously there are problems that come along with that, defending them and this, that, and the other thing. But I mean, we'd have all the power we'd ever need. So the idea that
yeah, but we don't have enough uranium on our own, though. We mainly get it from Australia. So
true.
I think it should be a mix of mainly oil and gas. So that's your standard power supply. That's for the vehicles and everything. And a decentralized solar grid. We have technology now that allows us to achieve reasonable efficiency with paper thin, wafer thin, literally bendable solar cells. They just haven't been mass produced. They require almost no resources at all. Why aren't these being deployed on pretty much every home in the United States?
Yeah, every single roof should have them and they should be free.
Yeah.
Every roof should have them and they should be free. And if it does nothing but offset your power grid, you could add another 100 or 200 years to the power supply.
We would pay up front in taxes, but then you would get a return in the end, actually.
Right.
I mean, government would find a way to fuck it up, but at the very least, it would be at least a break even.